now that we are in the spooky season, in the spooky time, in the spooky month, we all have that one movie that says, oh wow, it is that time. At last. Yay. Fuck yeah. For me, it's a strange one, and I kind of want to talk about it. So, back in the day, when Halloween season was upon us, there was this one movie that I was like, hell yeah, it is time. It is the time upon us. The dark times, the scary times, the holy crap, this is gonna get spooky times. I'm talking about horror vacations, or in Mexico called Vacaciones de Terror. So what is this masterpiece? It's a little known movie from back in the 80s that told a story of a family that bought a rickety old house that kind of resembles the house the Evil Dead. It looks like it smells like it, but it has two stories because it was a high budget one, I guess. But before all this entangles in this rickety old fucked up house, the movie starts with the burning of a witch. And the movie starts in black and white, bro. Horrible soundtrack and such, with horrible acting as well. So there's like this lady being wrapped in a pole with ropes and whatever. They're about to burn her alive, and she's like screaming like yeah yeah yeah. And one of the men, because they all look like back in the day, like the classic poncho, big sombrero kind of crap, and they're like, oh, we're gonna burn you because you tried to kill their children. Classic. With this object, and they showed this rickety old horrible doll that we're gonna be dreaming about it for the rest of the movie. And she's like, I'm gonna come and curse you, and I'm gonna take your children, and I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do it. And they burn her, and she's like, screaming fakely. And then we go back to the start, and apparently there's like a talisman that I forgot that existed. We showed our main protagonist, I guess, which back in Mexico, we had this guy called Pedrito Fernandez, that he's from a big musical family. But he was the one that had all the charisma and all the whatever, and he didn't give a crap, and he did a lot of stupid movies along his lifetime. He's still around, by the way, and he still looks the same, which is insane. Good genes, I guess. So anyway, he's like trying to trick this old fart on buying him talisman, which is a talisman we talked about before, to an old fart. And he's like, yeah, I want that talisman. How much do I need to give you? It's like, oh, you can't buy it with money and such. It's like, whoa, what do you want? It's like, can I have your disc player? Your cassette player? And, you know, it's the 80s. She's like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, the one, that little box with the music that comes with the little people. It's like, okay, like, wow. So he gives him this Discman or Walkman or whatever, and he gets the talisman, and he's like, this looks so good on my truck, and he hangs it in the front of the truck. Then we go back to this family that was gonna buy the rickety old fucking house. And they're like, well, we bought the guy was like, oh, I bought this house, it's gonna be our summer house, it's a big, like, it has acres, it's big, it's old, it's part of history, because the guy looks like he's like that one father that likes all rickety, shitty stuff. And the kids, he has two twin brothers and a little girl that doesn't know how to act. I think nobody in this fucking movie knows how to act. And he has an older niece that she lives with them for some fucking reason. Which, if you didn't know, that the girl resembles a lot like the witch. Which honestly, they just like move around our senses. Like, is that the witch? Is that whatever? Whatever. She's the girlfriend of Pedrito Fernandez from the start, which is awful because she doesn't know how to act. Jesus, it's such a horrible acting performance. So they go here, they're like against all that stuff, and they actually, like, this house is shit. It's what the fuck. Kids are playing on the backyard, and the girl falls into a well. Turns out that this well has like a little cave thing that has all the old objects of this woman, which I'm still like, why didn't they burn the fucking things? Well, okay, let's hide it under a well, I guess. Whatever. They go in there, and the father, and because the guy, Pedrito Fernandez, he's like an anthropologist or something like that, or that's what he claims to be. He's like, oh, we're gonna have so much money from this. Oh no, this is gonna be great. And the little girl sees the horrible yucky doll, which it's a yucky doll. It's like white face, ugly eyes, painted, and it's one of those that has like real eyes, and she's like, what the fuck, looking deadpan at you. Once she gets this doll, she starts acting funky. Also, the doll, her fucking powers are move her eyes by herself from one side to the other, which is, I love the fucking close-up. They did the swing thing every time she moves something and she does something. And she starts acting up. By the way, I always thought that this movie was based a lot from, if not the episode from the Twilight Zone, the Night Gallery one with the doll that comes from Africa. Those two are pretty much, I want to say it's pretty much the same thing, but it's the same fucking vibe. Like, they based it completely on this episode, and I love it every second. So the girl gets possessed by the doll. Pedrito Fernandez is trying his best to act on this train wreck of a production. For some reason, the girl starts acting funky. It's like, oh, she starts destroying her dolls and her toys, and the kids are like, well, the other two brothers are like being possessed as well, like, oh, play with the toys and do things for me. It's like, what the fuck is going on? By this time, like, the doll attacks the mother because, oh, in this point of the movie, oh, she was pregnant, I guess. You don't know about this. I didn't know about this. Nobody knew about this, but she was pregnant. And so she starts, like, looking at her. It's like, oh my god, my baby. And it's like, the lady is, like, super thin. And then suddenly her fucking belly starts bubbling. You can even hear like the glug from it. It's awful. It's fucking awful. The way it's like, oh, we need to take her to the hospital. You kids stay here by yourselves. Why? Well, I take my wife to the hospital. And of course, like, everything goes ape shit because the girl starts possessing, starts doing creepy stuff, start burning things, and they're like, it's the fucking doll. The doll is possessed because there's like a whole thing with a fridge full of rats and roaches and goop. Then suddenly the lights gets fixed for some fucking reason. Everything happens in this. It's terrible. So then we see several part of the shots of the talisman hanging there, like shining, and I think the doll knows that something is gonna happen, and they want to like, yeah, no, we don't want to do this. We just gonna destroy this fucking family and whatever. And I imagine the doll wants to possess the little girl so she can come back to life or some bullshit like that. They really don't explain it. It just happens. Then there's like a whole scene about like the fight with the doll, that they're trying to take it away from the girl, and fucking air from everywhere. Then they hang Pedrito Fernandez. They hold him in strings and whatever. And there's a whole scene where he gets tumbled into a mirror, and they want to put him in the mirror. But for some fucking reason, the girl grabs the doll and throws it into the fire and burns it, and that's how it ends. Kinda, the whole ordeal. What a fucking... Anyway, they said like, well, I guess we're okay. Let's sell the fucking house. And then, for some reason, another family shows up into the fucking house. And the house is like, nothing ever happened. It's great. Well, the little boy from this new family, more likely, finds the doll. Is like, oh, look, I found the doll. And then we see it, the thing, like, turn its eyes. Like, twing! It's like, oh my god. This movie spooked me for years because I'm afraid of dolls, for several things. Who is not afraid of dolls? But it's a mega guilty pleasure. I got the opportunity to see it with a live audience, and it was wild to see it. Drunk as hell and having a good time. But it's a good watch. I think it's on right now. It's on Tubi. If you want to watch it, it's for free. It's for free, and it has even subtitles. But I'm gonna talk really quick about the second. Oh yeah, this dumb fucking movie had a second fucking movie, a sequel, for the love of God, that had better effects, worse actors, and oh boy golly, creature effects. It's like, how do you make this movie about a fucking doll that is possessed by a witch turn into a monster by eating fucking candy in a Halloween party? Or the money. That's why. That's all about it. They grab Pedrito Fernandez, that for some fucking reason now it's Van Helsing, because he dresses like him. He has like a trench coat and everything and that little ponytail. It's like, I'm hunting for cursed objects because after that traumatizing experience, I'm gonna look for it. It's like, okay, and then past this fucking house that it looks like the Lorraine and Warren house, whatever. It's like, yeah, I have a bunch of cursed things here. It's fucking wild. Don't worry about it, it'll be fine. The car passes, and then he sees the girl of his, like the little girl, and then lifts the fucking doll and moves like her little hand like bye bye, and he's like, motherfucker, she's back! And he's like, I need to stop this shit. But no, the party is going on and everything goes ape shit. For some reason, like I said, the doll starts eating candy, turns into a monster, which is great. The whole fucking sequence of that doll eating like a Muppet candy is just wild. It's wild. It lives rent-free in my brain. I don't remember how it ends because I haven't seen it in so many years that it's like, no, the good one is the first one. I highly recommend it. I think it's also sitting on YouTube. I haven't seen anywhere else. They have better actors because the older girl now is actually a singer and actress from back in the day called Tatiana. We all remember her from all the Christmas songs that got stuck in our brain back in the day. So, but I highly recommend it. Like, if you want to see a slapsticky, horrible, bad acting, terrible effects, but with a good time, watch it. Like I said, it's for free on Tubi. It's gotta be sitting somewhere. Free for everyone. Like, oh, you want to get traumatized forever? Watch it. Watch it. It's a good drinking movie to just experience. But I wanted to talk about this just quickie. Thank you, everyone that has been following. Sorry for being so disconnected with this channel, but I'm trying my best to do something at least this season. I've been busy and such, but I'm still gonna be in the podcast till we move from this hellhole. But for now, happy Halloween, everyone. Have a spooky month, and watch out from buying dolls in a secondhand store by fucking Pedrito Fernandez or falling in wells, I guess. Whatever. Y'all have a great spooky Halloween. Love you all. Bye-bye.